Park Jimin becomes the main event at Dior's fashion show. When the world of high fashion collides with the irresistible magnetism of global superstars, the result is nothing short of an earth-shattering spectacle. This time it wasn't just any star. This was Park Jimin of BTS, the man whose very name sends ripples through the hearts of millions, the idol who is more than just an artist, but a cultural phenomenon. And now he has stepped into a world that few can truly conquer, Dior's runway. The fashion house didn't just invite him, they made him the main event, the centerpiece, the highlight that eclipsed everything else. But how did this come to be? Why Jimin? And what does it mean for the world of fashion, for Dior, and for ARMY who watched with trembling hearts as the event unfolded? The answers are layered in drama, excitement, and moments that felt almost unreal. Let us take you through every detail of this groundbreaking moment, a story so big that it deserves to be etched in history forever. The buzz before the show, even before Dior unveiled its latest collection, whispers began to spread like wildfire. Fashion insiders, journalists, and celebrities were all murmuring about a mysterious special guest who would redefine the show. The secrecy only added fuel to the fire. Who could it be? A Hollywood icon? A legendary supermodel? Or perhaps a figure from the music industry with an aura strong enough to rival even the grandest of names? Then came the leak, or rather, a carefully placed hint. A cryptic post from Dior's official account featuring subtle imagery, a silhouette that seemed oddly familiar, and hashtags that drove the internet into chaos. ARMY knew. They didn't just suspect, they were convinced. This was Park Jimin. And when confirmation finally dropped that Park Jimin was not only attending Dior's fashion show but would be the centerpiece of the entire event, social media went into meltdown. Hashtags trended worldwide. Fashion magazines rushed to adjust their headlines. The anticipation had never been this electric. The arrival that stopped time the night of the Dior fashion show was unlike anything the fashion world had ever seen. Cameras flashed endlessly as celebrities strutted along, dressed in the latest couture. But then suddenly the energy shifted. Whispers turned into screams. The red carpet became a battlefield of camera shutters. And out he stepped, Park Jimin. Clad in a custom Dior ensemble designed specifically for him, Jimin wasn't just wearing the outfit, he was embodying it. The fabric seemed alive against his skin, tailored to perfection, balancing sharp elegance with soft sophistication, much like Jimin himself. His presence silenced the noise and amplified the atmosphere. It wasn't just fashion anymore. It was art in motion. Reporters stumbled over their words, fans cried openly, and even seasoned fashion critics were left gasping at the sheer power of his aura. One moment it was a regular high-profile show. The next it was the Park Jimin show featuring Dior. The runway transformation, when the lights dimmed and the music began, anticipation reached its peak. And then came the moment that the world will never forget. Park Jimin taking the runway. He didn't just walk, he commanded. Every step was poetry, every glance a story. The audience could barely contain their gasps. The fluidity of his movement, the confidence in his stride, the subtle yet captivating gestures. It was as though Dior had been waiting its entire history for this moment. Unlike many guest appearances, Jimin wasn't there as a background figure or a celebrity seat filler. Dior made him the main event. He opened the show with fire, set the tone for the collection, and later returned to close it with a final walk that left the crowd on its feet. Applause thundered. Cheers erupted. ARMY who tuned in online from across the globe flooded the internet with messages of pride, awe, and disbelief. The reaction that shook the industry. Fashion insiders immediately recognized what had just happened. Dior hadn't simply booked a star, they had rewritten the rules of fashion presentation. No longer were fashion shows confined to the elite inner circles. With Jimin as the centerpiece, Dior opened its doors to millions of new eyes, fans who might never have cared about high fashion before, but who now found themselves Googling every detail about Dior's creative direction. Magazines scrambled to declare Jimin as the face of modern Dior. Influencers reshaped their content overnight to analyze every detail of his outfit, his walk, his accessories. TikTok was flooded with clips of Jimin's runway moments, garnering millions of views within hours. And the celebrities in attendance? Even they couldn't resist staring. More than one A-lister was caught on camera, mouths slightly open, visibly stunned by the way Jimin outshone everything around him. The industry had been shaken to its core. What this means for Dior, this was more than just a strategic move. It was a declaration. By making Jimin their main event, Dior wasn't just showing clothes, they were aligning themselves with a new era of cultural relevance. BTS members have long been style icons, but Jimin's Dior runway marked a significant turning point. Fashion and K-pop had now merged into one unstoppable force, sales spiked instantly. Within minutes of the show ending, items similar to Jimin's outfit sold out online. Pre-orders surged. Dior's stock even saw a noticeable bump, proving the tangible power of his influence. Jimin had not just modeled their collection, he had transformed Dior's global identity. ARMY's emotional roller coaster for ARMY, this wasn't just fashion, it was history. Fans recall Jimin's journey from a young trainee in Busan to becoming the main event at Dior, one of the most prestigious fashion houses in the world. Tears streamed down faces as they realized what this meant. Their Jimin had conquered yet another realm, proving that his artistry knows no bounds. Social media was ablaze with emotional posts. Our Jimin is Dior's main event. Do you realize how huge this is? One fan wrote. Another posted, Jimin didn't just walk for Dior. Dior walked for Jimin. The emotional resonance was undeniable. It wasn't just pride, it was awe. The aftermath as the show concluded, Jimin didn't vanish into the shadows. Instead he stayed, mingled, smiled, posed for pictures with designers and fellow celebrities. Yet no matter who stood beside him, it was clear. All eyes were still on Jimin. The media coverage that followed was relentless. Vogue, LGQ, all rushed to feature him on their front pages. Articles hailed him as the game-changer of global fashion, declaring that Dior's decision to spotlight Jimin would be remembered as a defining cultural moment. Beyond the runway, the question now is, what's next? Will Jimin continue his journey with Dior? Could this be the beginning of an even deeper collaboration, perhaps as a global ambassador, or even as the face of Dior campaigns worldwide? The possibilities are endless, and the fashion world waits with bated breath. One thing is certain. Park Jimin has transcended the boundaries of music, performance, and fame. He has become an icon in the truest sense, shaping industries far beyond the one that first made him famous. The legacy of this moment years from now, when people look back on the evolution of fashion and pop culture, this moment will be cited as a turning point. The night Dior handed its runway to Park Jimin wasn't just about clothes. It was about power, artistry, and influence. It was about how one man could hold an audience of millions in the palm of his hand simply by walking across a stage. Park Jimin wasn't just part of Dior's fashion show. He was the Dior fashion show. And the world will never forget it. Sparkles Army, what do you think? Was this Jimin's greatest fashion moment yet? Or is the best still to come?